Hello and welcome to the Long Island Weather Update. It's 10 o'clock on August 9th, 2024. As we deal with the remnants of Debby, which luckily spared us here on Long Island, anything too bad. But inland, of course, they dealt with a lot worse. You can see the remnants now racing up into Maine and extreme eastern Canada. We have a cold front that's going to slowly work its way in. You can see the cool front right here. Looks like a little smoke and an outflow boundary popping up over Texas. And a lot more smoke over California and the and the northwest, of course. So let's go over what we got going on right now. We'll go to the weather map here, and you see here's the cold front. Looks like a series of cold fronts. There's a little trough line coming through as well. Storm Prediction Center. That's important. Let's go there. Right now, luckily, just the marginal risk. But we're going to take a look and see. We've had just 2 tornadoes touch down today, which is good. Not too many. Not too many. No. We don't want the plot. We want our storm reports. Where's the storm? Oh, here we go. Here's our storm report map. Not too much on this map. It was mostly about the rain today, and there was a lot of flooding. Though there are power outages in parts of New York, and parts of New York had a lot of rain today. So let's go to the weather map right now and talk about it here. So you can see some flood watches. Looks like we may have a flood advisory there. A flood warning in effect for western New York. That looks like the Buffalo area as well. No, that's not Buffalo. That's like Watertown, I think. But let's go and look at our rainfall totals so far. And you'll see, luckily we were spared and we didn't get that much rain. For our area, wind advisories dropped. We had worse winds earlier. They seem to have died down tonight. Got a high surf advisory for the South Shore. Let's look at our precipitation today. I'll do 24-hour precipitation. Show you not all that much on Long Island at all. I had a feeling we wouldn't really wind up getting that much, but as you go north and west of the city, you'll see higher amounts in northern New Jersey. Jersey Shore barely got anything, and then here we go into the Adirondacks, into the Poconos and Pennsylvania, and you see here's where you get your 5-inch amounts, 3-inch amounts, western New York as well. Some areas getting a lot of rain. Oh, my God. Look at Seneca Falls, 5.97. There's going to be some terrible flooding over there, I'm sure. And this is the area where that flash flood warning is as well. We got a flash flood warning here, 3.40 at Fort Drum, 4.21 at Carthage. And a lot of this rain falling in a very short amount of time, so it caused a lot of flooding here, 4.29 in Potsdam. So for those who are criticizing Governor Hochul for declaring a state of emergency, it needed to be declared because much of the state is dealing with a lot of very bad flooding right now. That also goes into Montreal, too, by the way. Look at this. Montreal also dealing with 5.16. I'm sure there's some bad flooding over there with all these rainfall totals as well. This also goes into Vermont as well, some heavy rainfall totals as well. So let's look at the radar right now. Luckily, the rain has shifted off to the east, and now the heavy rain is now over Maine. Looks like we got a few showers, very light showers, some showers over Yonkers, some more over northeastern Pennsylvania. Other than that, it's kind of just, that's it. You know, the rest of the country doesn't have a whole lot going on. There's a little bit of storminess here in northern New Mexico into Colorado, but that's pretty much it. But still, it's a bad situation. For those areas that were hit by flooding. And there are a lot of power outages in parts of New York. So New York is reporting 71,000 customers without power, and it's mainly in north of the capital region, Hamilton, Essex, Oneonta. So the winds were still enough to cause some tree damage, all right, in some of these areas. New Jersey, not doing too badly, 7,900. It's down to 5,744. So that's not too bad. Pennsylvania has 35,000 customers without power, mainly in the northeastern part of the state. Ohio still 147,000. I mean, it's terrible. First Energy really is failing the people in that area terribly. But that's their parent company JCP&L. It's really not as surprising. Like I said, if you've seen some of the pictures of the stuff that Illuminating Company uses. It is absolutely ancient. Probably goes back to the 30s, some of it. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's pretty it's pretty bad infrastructure. But there has been a lot of flooding in New York, and that's why we can go New York and put flooding here and see what's going on here, and you'll see dozens in need of rescue in Pennsylvania, including via helicopter and life-threatening floods. Flooding from the remnants leads to high water rescues in New York. So maybe it's not affecting our area so much, but it is in upstate New York, western New York, dealing with a major disaster over there with this flooding. You'd think you move inland, and no, this is there's no escaping this. So, yeah, that's what's going on right now. Looking at the satellite here, we'll look at the satellite here, the clouds again from Debby. Here's the parent low, and let's take a look at all the smoke that we have emanating from the Northwest Territories. Take a look at this. I mean, it's like the whole freaking thing is on fire. It's nuts. The smoke's going up and well up into the Arctic Circle, and it's now making its way toward almost closer to Nunavut and into the Hudson Bay. And oh, well, looks like we got a whole bunch more fires now in Saskatchewan that just broke out as well. So get ready for the smoke. It's coming. We got Oregon as well. California is the Park Fire. This is the high-resolution satellite. Yeah, I will spend a lot more time talking about the smoke than Debby, because I know a lot of other people are going to be talking about Debby. Well, I talk about both. I'm trying to fit in both here. So let's look at some more satellite imagery here that we got going on. So we're going to go and look at let's start with the Central Alaska satellite. We're going to start from the north and we'll work our way south. You can see off the edge there are the fires. We'll have to go to the southeastern Alaska. Actually, that's the central. That's my mistake. It was my mistake. It was my mistake. Do apologize for that. So here, look at these fires here. I mean, this is the Northwest Territories here. Look at that, all that orange coming off there. That's absolutely nuts. Southeastern Alaska. Yeah, this is, and I know, to say, how does this relate to Long Island? Well, because we're going to be dealing with this smoke eventually. That's why. You can see just lots and lots of, look at this. This is the Northwest Territories. This is just incredible. Look at that. That's actually a pyrocumulus cloud right there. See that white there? It could be a thunderstorm, actually. Oh, don't think there's lightning. Yeah, we don't get the lightning on this one. Let's go to the Canada, northern U.S. one. So I'll show you all the fires that are burning across Canada here right now. You can see all the smoke that we're going to eventually have to deal with. So we got a little. We're going to get a little break this weekend, but you can see all the smoke that's waiting in the wings for us up here. That's going to eventually work its way down. Here's Saskatchewan too. There's some fires there too as well, going on as well. So eventually that is going to work its way down. You can see the smoke also from the west as well. So while if we can get some blue skies this weekend, enjoy them, because I don't know if we're going to get them for a while after that. After looking at all this smoke that's coming off of here is incredible. It really is just incredible. I wish we could get a little bit closer on that Alberta and that. We could do Northern Rockies. I think that one might work. Let's try that. It doesn't really know. It doesn't show Canada. Yeah, they don't have enough of these Canada close-ups, unfortunately. They really don't. So that's the best we're going to be able to get right now. We have some mesoscale stuff, but they don't really have anything here, anything closer. So, yeah, unfortunately, it's the best we've got. But let's go look at some observations now across our area here. And, you know, they've been dealing with heat records across Northwest Territories with more hot days ahead. Fort McPherson has set 2 all-time heat records this week. So this is the kind of stuff that's going on here. Heat warnings across the Northwest Territories, parts of Nunavut, and Yukon. Boy, I've been in this business a long time, and I'm just shaking my head at these temperatures. 33 Celsius, so 34 Celsius. So if we convert 34 Celsius to Fahrenheit, that should be 93 degrees. Yeah, that's pretty bad. All right, so see, looking at our observations here, getting back to our weather here. 73 at Farmingdale, very humid. The dew points have been in the 70s. Hasn't really gotten all that warm today. We'll go ahead and look at the highs today and the lows. The highs, generally, we did actually get into the mid-80s because we did actually get some sun, believe it or not, this afternoon for a little bit. So it actually got us into the mid-80s. Here's the sunshine. But then the clouds kind of came in, and then the showers actually started coming in here. It's dark cloud approaching here. That was the leading edge of the rain. So, yeah. But other than that, we did manage to make it to the mid-80s. Let's see, Jersey, I bet. Yeah, mid-80s there, too. So it was a warm and humid day today. A little bit of sun. I wasn't surprised that the sun poked out with all that moisture going off to the northwest. You can see, generally speaking, across Long Island, the lows, nothing remarkable. But if we go look at the high temperatures, you'll see here that it's cooler upstate where they didn't get into the sun at all. Obviously, let's get these to load if that would be possible. And you'll see definitely cooler upstate because, again, they didn't get as much sunshine there. They were in the clouds and dealing with the rain. Let's take a look at some of the highs across the country right now. And you can see that as far as the advisories go, we got more red flag warnings in the west again, air quality alerts, just dealing with the heat. Let's go up into here, and you see, again, look at the heat. I mean, this is so upside down. It's cooler in Alberta. Like, Calgary, 73, but if you go up to the Northwest Territories, it's in the 90s. What, 98 at Fort Hope Good? Are you kidding me? 97 at Norman Wells, Northwest Territories. Those are just unbelievably hot. And some of that heat even gets up here. Look at this, 70 degrees for a high at Warwick National Park. It's still 70 degrees right now. That's just crazy. That's just crazy. 90 in Bathurst Inlet. It's 78 currently there. I mean, these are obscenely hot temperatures for this area. And so it's just drying everything out and creating more wildfires. It's not a surprise. I don't know if any of these stations report visibility here. Most of these don't report visibility, unfortunately. This one does. Wait a minute. This one had it. This one had visibility. They're reporting 30-mile visibility. I don't know if that's even the case. All those fires burning. I think that may be an error at this point. Yeah, here we go. There's one that's got reporting haze at 1.5-mile visibility. That's more like it. All those fires burning over there. It's absolutely nuts. So you can see all the heat that's going on up there. But luckily for us, we will get a break in the humidity. So let's go look at the model. First, we'll do our climate statistics for today. Let's look at some of these high wind gust reports as well to see what we have here. Mainly in the upper 40s. Nothing too terrible, though. LaGuardia did gust to 52. Farmingdale gusted to 46. So did Islip. 50-mile-an-hour wind gust at Jersey City. 53-mile-an-hour wind gust at Larchmont Harbor. So we did get to see some strong winds today, but the winds weren't as bad as they could have been. That's mainly because the center of the storm was further away from our area. So luckily we didn't get to deal with too much of that. And it may have been stronger winds upstate. Of course, they don't have a list for that. So anyway, now that we're through that, let's go ahead and look at the models and talk about our nice stretch of weather that we're going to have coming up this weekend here, and that actually will go into next week. So this pushes away, high pressure builds in tomorrow, and we're going to have a nice weekend. And in addition to that, we're going to have low humidity, and you can see we're going to remain in high pressure, staying in control for much of the week with low humidity. Then we have to watch this storm system here. This is in the long range. The models keep playing around with this tropical system here. But that is so far in the long range. I'm going to discuss that more on Sunday. But I just want to show you that we're not going to be dealing with the dew points being high for a while. So looking at this dew point chart here from the GFS, you'll see dew points dropping tomorrow. We stay with comfortable dew points throughout much of the week. We will not have to deal with high humidity. That's the good news on all this. We'll be dealing with lower humidity and comfortable temperatures. So let's look at the HRRR model now, and we have the dew points on the screen. This is the HRRR. So the HRRR is a little slow bringing the humidity down. Doesn't really want to bring it down until later in the afternoon. It still really doesn't bring it down that much until we get toward evening and into Sunday, and just kind of has this front kind of washing out a little bit, but it's enough to get the humidity down and have a decent weekend for most locations. And I think Sunday is going to probably wind up being the more comfortable day at this point. The temperatures, we will have temperatures tomorrow that will, if tonight's not going to drop back that much tomorrow, we're going to probably get into the mid 80s. Tomorrow night, probably drop into the 60s, and then for Sunday, the temperatures are going to be cooler on Sunday with probably upper 70s and low 80s. So Sunday should be definitely a lot more on the comfortable side. Now, as far as skies go, I'll just look at the sounding here for a moment, or probably because we're not getting rid of that humidity. I don't know if the sky's going to be all that clear. Maybe some clouds around. We'll have to look at some of the other models and see about that. But let's look at the GFS now. I'll move this along a little more with the dew points and wind flow. GFS, of course, being a little quicker bringing the dry air in. But you're generally going to feel the dry air more toward the later in the afternoon and the evening. And then Sunday, you can see northwesterly breezes. And we stay in that dry area Monday, Tuesday. And we're staying with a westerly to northwesterly flow. Here we are on Tuesday, westerly to northwesterly flow. Wednesday becomes northeasterly. Then starts maybe as we get to a Thursday, maybe becomes a little more onshore. But generally, a westerly flow keeps us dry. Let's go and look at the temperatures. Usually I don't show you the week ahead on Friday night, but I will. So here's your temperatures for Sunday. For Monday, Tuesday, all staying fairly comfortable. I mean, it starts getting a little warmer as we get toward Wednesday. But temperatures generally in the low 80s, and then we'll start getting up to the mid 80s, maybe closer to 90s as we get toward Friday. But nothing too bad. Nothing too bad as far as the temperatures go. We'll be comfortable, so that's some good news. Skies. All right, we'll get to the smoke in a little bit, but first we'll show you the skies. So tomorrow, GFS clears us out fairly quickly and has a mostly sunny day. Sunday, it's got some clouds passing through. Monday, this is, again, a little overdone, I think. Maybe a few clouds. Tuesday, and then maybe Wednesday. There'll be plenty of sunshine this week. You could see that. Any of those clouds that are being displayed are probably of the higher variety. Let's go to the RGM next and take a look at the RGM. So here's the RGM for tomorrow. Again, starting off with some clouds in the morning. Then toward the afternoon, I think you probably might see less in the way of clouds. Sunday, the RGM is saying mostly sunny and really nice. And then for Monday, also mostly sunny, and then maybe build some clouds in as we get toward later in the afternoon. Maybe a little disturbance that might come through. But other than that, it's showing plenty of sunshine. But the wild card, of course, is the smoke. So now we got to go to the smoke models, take a look at those. We'll start with the HRRR smoke model. So let's see, let's see if we can get the 0Z smoke model in. So here's the 0Z. We'll do vertically integrated smoke, and we'll take a look and see where that smoke is going. So you'll see here, tomorrow it actually does bring a little bit of a layer of smoke in coming from the west tomorrow, and then behind that, this would be the air for Sunday that would be cleaner and less smoke, so bluer skies on Sunday. But that doesn't really show you what's going on in Canada too well. So let's go and look at the RAP. I think it's the 21Z that goes longer. So we'll do the vertically integrated smoke on the RAP. And you'll see, again, that same thing, that layer of smoke coming for us tomorrow. We may have some haze in the air. Sunday, definitely better. But then we're going to have to watch what happens with this. So this is a lot of smoke coming from the Northwest Territories. And I think given the pattern that we're in, that's going to get down here eventually. But right now, we don't really have any models that go far enough out to really say exactly where that's going to go at this point. If there are, I don't know of any. It's possible that maybe Earth Null School could possibly tell us. Let's see if it does. Now this doesn't really show smoke aloft, though. It doesn't really have. It does have particles, PM 2.5, but that's only at the surface. It doesn't really give us that far out. We can move this ahead by a little bit. It goes, let's see, we got 1 hour, 8 hours. I can hit play. I can just play it. Let's see if it'll load. Stop animation. It doesn't seem to want to work. All right. That's why I prefer this one. So we just don't know yet. But I think the weekend will have some nice skies. But we're going to probably have to deal with that smoke at some time next week, I think. So just pay attention to it. That's all. Let's lastly go and look at what's going to happen in Canada as far as, is it going to cool down there? When is it going to cool down up in the Northwest Territories? Because I think the heat is going to continue up there. Let's go to the GFS. Regions, North America, and we'll first show you the ridge that's up there. So you see that ridge that's up. That ridge is going to stay with that whole area this whole weekend. So I don't expect things to get any better. In fact, they could wind up getting worse. Temperatures anomaly. So if you look at the temperature anomaly, you still see that bright pink. Yeah, that's still there for tomorrow, and it's still there for Sunday too. So, and Monday, it's not really going anywhere. It starts to finally get pushed aside as we get toward Wednesday. But that is a lot of very much. There's going to be more heat to come up there for sure. If we want to visualize this, let's go to Event 2 Sky here. This kind of shows the heat that's going on right now up there. All right, so we're visualizing this. This is the icon. Now I'm going to just shift this to the GFS because I think that's a better model at this point when it comes to the heat that we're dealing with here. All right, so shifting this again to tomorrow. Yeah, temperature's still well up into the 80s. You see that southerly wind. Look at that. It's actually getting it up to 80 up here. That's crazy. All right, well, there's a lot going on, folks. If it does wind up getting this warm tomorrow, I will do a video on it. But not. I'll have to do another weather update, I guess, or I don't know. I'll do a separate video on this alone. I think this whole heat wave in the Northwest Territories and the Arctic really deserves its own video outside of the weather update as well. So, but this is incredible kind of heat that we're dealing with, and we're going to talk about this. I think this is the GFS. So I'll see if I can put it back to the automatic. Automatic also has it very warm up here. This is insane. This is insane kind of heat, folks. So tomorrow is going to be even worse. The heat expands northward tomorrow. Oh, is that? Yeah, this is Saturday, right? All right, so we'll go to Sunday. Sunday it gets a little bit better, but yeah, it's going to be bad. It actually has it up there today too. We'll see if the model's just wrong, but this is crazy stuff. So again, just look at this upside down picture here that we have. It'll actually be cooler over here than up here. That's nuts, but that's what happens when you have a jet stream that's all out of whack here. I don't think we can show the jet stream on here, but it is out of whack. So this is what happens, folks. So anyway, enjoy the weekend. We have nice weather. Hopefully we can get some blue skies, at least for a little bit, before the smoke rolls back in again. So that's going to wrap up this Long Island weather update. Have a good night and enjoy the weekend. And like I said, I usually take Saturday nights off. But if something weird happens, if there is some crazy records in Canada, I may have to do a video just on that alone. So that's probably what I'll wind up doing. Up in the Arctic there, because that needs to be talked about. Nobody else is talking about it. So have a good night and enjoy the weekend.